Sorry folks, we've been wrong. Saturated fat is actually good for you. And that's what the data says. So here's the nutritional profile of beef. When it says essential amino acids, that means that your body can't make it. You have to get it in your diet. Plants don't have all the essential amino acids. I'm sorry, they just don't. But animals do. When you look at iron deficiencies across our population, about half of all women in our country are iron deficient for two reasons. One is most women will lose iron once every 28 days. And the second reason is most vegetarians are women, and they don't get any heme iron in their diet. Best source of iron in the whole dietary regimen. B vitamins, minerals only come from animal products. It's a great nutrient-dense food, but fat's a four-letter word. Haven't been able to defend fat. So we have, what's a four-letter adjective we use when we advertise beef? L-E-A-N, right? So we agree with them that gotta eat lean beef because this fat's bad for you. Whether it's in beef or whether it's in milk. Folks, what percent fat is in whole milk? It's 4% fat. It's 96% fat-free. And yet we think there's too much fat in it. So we drink this nasty stuff. I mean, skim milk is a poor excuse for water. I'm sorry. And even better than this, if we have organic fat-free stuff, you'll never die drinking this stuff. So I'm this same old guy to go see my cardiologist. And he takes a blood sample because he wants to look at predictors of heart disease that are floating around in my circulatory system. These are the three main indicators of heart disease. Triglycerides, very low density lipoproteins, and high density lipoproteins. The good cholesterol would be HDL, the bad cholesterol would be the VLDLs. So if triglycerides and VLDLs are high in that blood sample and HDL is low, then that's a good predictor that I may have a heart attack. That's a bad profile of these three molecules. However, if triglycerides are low and VLDLs are low and HDL is high, then that's an indicator that I have a very healthy heart and circulatory system. Really no debate on that. So what does the fat of beef look like? 30% is stearic acid, 40% is oleic acid. Both of these fatty acids decrease VLDLs. They decrease triglycerides, and they raise HDL. The remaining 30% of the fat of beef is neutral to those three molecules, therefore the fat of beef is heart healthy. And it is. Have you ever heard anyone say that before? That, folks, the science has said that for decades. But when folks have been saying don't eat fat for 40, 50 years, and they have government programs and grants, etc., it's really hard to say, sorry folks, I was wrong. And they haven't been able to do that with beef. This paper came out of Harvard University. These authors are very, very anti-beef. Not only because of dietary reasons, they think that raising cattle causes this global warming environmental issues. So they did a meta-analysis, a pooled study of 21 clinical trials that have looked at saturated fat, heart disease, etc. And they asked this question because they really knew the answer. This has been in their advice their whole life. They knew that they were going to be able to find that yes, there's an association between saturated fat and heart disease. The problem was, when they did this study, there is not. To their chagrin. So what is the dietary factor that links diet with heart disease? You guys won't like me now. What are refined carbs? White flour, white sugar, high fructose corn syrup, all the stuff we crave, right? Soda pops. So even Sweden has recognized and read the data, and they're the first Western nation that have come out saying, folks, high carbs is not good. We recommend a high fat, high protein diet, minimal carbs. I mean, at least somebody's reading the data that's been out there. We eat 130 pounds of sugar per capita. That's almost 3 times the amount of beef we eat. Not to mention all the other highly refined carbohydrates that go into our diet. When I consume highly refined carbs, what does it do to insulin? Raise it or lower it? Raises insulin levels. When insulin is elevated, what does your body do with the energy that it consumes? Where does it go? It goes into fat deposition and it stays there. There's a lot of hormones that will pull fat out of deposition and let you burn it for energy, but when insulin is elevated, it negates all those other hormones. And when I have a diet that's high in refined carbs, insulin is chronically elevated, what I eat goes into storage, and I'm still hungry because my body's pulling all this energy into storage, and I'm still hungry. Have you ever known a smoker to quit smoking? What happens to their weight gain after they quit smoking? They gain weight or lose weight? Why is that? They eat the same diet. Because nicotine inhibits insulin release. And when I'm smoking, high nicotine, low insulin, my body burns its fuel. When I quit smoking and nicotine drops, insulin rises, I gain 30 pounds in a month. That's just the biology of insulin. We've known that for decades. This is not new stuff. So I'm not saying don't eat any carbs. I'm just saying limit the amount of carbs you eat and try to avoid refined carbohydrates. Here's the take-home. It is not the total number of calories you eat that makes you fat, obese, or not able to lose weight. It's the source of those calories. When your source is refined carbs, and when it spikes insulin, then I gain weight, can't lose weight.